Hey guys, Mel the Train Tutor back at home with a bit of a desk project. Yes, it's the summer holidays and I'm still cracking on with High Peak Pass, my sort of project to convert the Fryburgh Fort, which is that from foreground, into a snowy mountain pass. Now, in the first episode, and if you've not seen it yet, I'll throw a link up to it, we worked on converting the kit into the main sort of, doing the major converting and setting up the encampment. Now, at the minute we've got all the heavy sort of converting work, or 95% of it done. Okay, we've raised the tower heights, we've converted the doors so they've got battlements on them, we've doubled up the battlements, we've raised these up, and we've done quite a bit of work on our command tower to basically double its height and add this entire extra balcony, but there's still work to do on this. Now, we've also put in the basic ground layering, and fingers crossed in this vlog we'll carry on and we'll do a bit more groundworking. But the first thing that we need to tackle is, I've still got quite a few bits left over. Yeah, so what I want to do is, because this is also a live streaming project that I'm working on a Sunday when I'm live streaming for my 7-hour summer session, I want to nail down all the little remaining bits of converting. So finish up converting the tower, get all the stairs, the steps, the ladders, get all those done, put in a few more palisades and stuff like that, and add a bit more interest. Now I've got some extra foreground bits that I had in the attic, some boxes and stuff, so I may put some of those together. But my first mission, and my main one, is finish off the converting. So my next job is, I've got to do the stairs and steps and all that sort of stuff. And to be truthful, with it being a Sunday morning and me only just getting back from camping, they're going to they're going to be the first jobbies, I think, and just break me into it easy, you know. Mel hasn't had too many coffees yet, so need to get the old grey matter going. Yeah, once that's done, then I'm going to come in and do the roof on the command tower, and I'll talk about that more in a little while. Yeah, now the response from the first video was really good, and there's been quite a few questions and that sort of stuff. So one of the common questions was functionality. Is it going to be a bit cramped, and am I going to be adding a bit more buildings? No. Yes and no. Yes, it is going to be a little bit more cramped, especially around areas like this and here, but these elements are removable, so I know I can get easy access to wherever I need to. I am sort of conscious of this play area here once the mountains are enclosed in it, but it should be okay. I just don't think I can fit any more buildings in there, and also on top of that, I don't have any more buildings to fit in. So, Tam mentioned, am I going to do like a tying up rail for horses? Well, I've got a couple of roofs and some support beams left over in the bits, so possibly some lean-tos. Now, there were a lot of questions also about the actual, I asked you what sort of snow techniques you want me to look at. You guys barreled back with loads, but a couple of them really stuck out. Icicles, definitely. Puddles, frozen puddles, muddy ground, that sort of stuff, definitely. There was a lot of interest in like deep snow and modelling deep snow and the snow drifts and that sort of stuff, so that's in. And also trodden snow and things like blood in the snow and that sort of stuff. So I'm going to have to get my thinking cap on for those and figure out, you know, how I'm going to do them, yeah, and how I'm going to show them and that sort of stuff. But in the meantime, I just want to get flowing with this. So I'm going to show you some pictures of where the project is now. I'll see you, men. So I'm working through the steps and the stairs for the ramparts and get up to the access doors and that sort of stuff. I've done 4 of the 6 stairs out of the set and 10 of the 12 steps. So the stairs, really easy. Yeah, really easy to put together. And focus down your focus. There you go. You're not going to focus, are you, you git? There you are. Right, so, nice detailed. Interesting thing about the stairs is, I've just discovered by putting them next to each other, that they actually slot into each other, making a larger platform. Yeah, so that's something I might explore with the actual build itself. But essentially, I've got the stairs to get up to the ramparts now. I've got the ladders that come with the kit. Yeah, which are just simple laser cut ladders. And then I've got these little steps. Now, the little steps are the wrong size for me. Okay, now the reason they're the wrong size for me is dead simple. Because I've modified all the heights and that sort of stuff, yeah, I've changed things up. So these don't fit in with what they were designed to be done. So what I'm going to do is just trim off the bottom little bits to lower them a little so they work for me. But I just need all these to sort of dry now. Okay. So we've got essentially the rampart steps, which should, if they line up properly. They don't with those, unfortunately. That's a shame. Do they go the other way? No. Now that is a shame, to be truthful. It would have been nice if they lined up with those and actually fitted in, but I'm going to have to go something like that, I'm guessing. Do they line up anywhere along here? I mean, they will. There's a rough one right at that edge that I can get them to line up with. So it is doable. Yeah, I think with a little bit of filing, they'll be fine. Oh, they line up perfectly if you bring them right to this flat edge here. So I'm assuming if I flip this round and go there, they line up perfectly there as well. So that's viable, which is quite nice. Shame I didn't use a straight on my walls, isn't it? Right, I've got to crack on. So, next job is, if you remember, I've been working on the tower, okay, and we've been working on putting the basic balcony together. Reached a point now where I need to do the last major building on this element, and that is putting the roof on using the spare roofs from the 2 towers out of the 6 that we didn't build. We've used pretty much all the other parts of the towers in the project, of all 6 towers in the project, but there's 2 roofs we haven't used, and I'm going to be using those, yeah, to be adding a roof onto this. It's just a bit fiddly, so that's the next job. In the meantime, we'll put these up to dry, and so once we've got our tower done, we can take these onto the board and actually start trimming them, fitting them, putting them on where we want them. So that's the battle plan, guys. Cracking on time. Different angle for you folks this time. Right, I had some struggles with the roof for the for the command tower for the balcony, and so at the moment it's over on the side and it's drying, and I don't want to mess with it until it's completely dry. So I've been putting along with the smaller jobs that I was going to leave till later. So put all the stairs together, as you know, and that sort of stuff, and these are going to go around here. Yeah, I've got some ladders, yeah, and these can go in here and this sort of stuff to build these details up. But I've also been using the spare palisades. Now, because I haven't used the entirety of the kit, I have a few of these sort of bits left over that I haven't even put together. So I've been putting them together, I've been cutting them down to size, yeah, and what I've done is essentially I've added a load of palisades. So if I just bring it round this way, yeah, it's probably easier to show you here. Yeah, you can see that now, instead of a straight wall, we've got these crenulations. Yeah, and these crenulations go all the way round, and I've added them onto here and onto here. What I wanted to do, I wanted to give the impression that this side of the build was very much the dangerous end, whereas this side, with the gatehouse into the actual encampment, hasn't got the crenulations, and this is seen as the, the safer end. Now the reason for this is, in the Fable Realm setting, there's like these vampire zombie creatures, and this is a defensive pass against them, and they would be coming this way, so the threat is mainly this way, which is why I've essentially only sort of improved the defences on one side to give that sort of balance. And I'm going to add dead bodies on this side and more admin area on this side. So put the crenulations in. Now, we haven't just put them in there. If you notice, you can see them sticking out here and here. They'll work when I put earth banks in, so they'll look like they're buttressed up against the earth banks, very much like I've done here, yeah, with this earth bank, and I've got another one on the other side there. On top of that, I've gone along with the small steps, cut those down, and they've gone in all these little places just to adjust for the height between the tall tower and the actual ramparts, which were just slightly out. I did have to cut them down a little, but it was a really easy fix. So that's the palisades done up, that's the steps done in. I've still got to put the big steps in, but it is time now for me to tackle trying to put this roof on this command tower. So wish me luck, and I'll show you some photos of where I've got so far, and hopefully I'll be coming back with a command tower with a balcony with a roof on it. So the command tower is pretty much done, and it was a hell of a jobby, to be truthful. So let me take you through what we've done. We'll take the roof off first, and we'll talk about that in a second. Let me take you through the foundation work. Now, the top of these towers, they have these balustrade, these sort of support beams, and I was able to use a full one on this side, yeah, and then use 2 halves to do the back piece, and then I had to use 2 full ones and just join it right in the middle there, okay, for this long piece. I may still go in, depending on what bits I've got left over, and add a support beam in the middle there. I'm not quite sure at the minute. Now on top of that, I added a little bit of more flooring in the bottom just to cover that gap line there. Yeah, I've added our steps in just like we did with the other towers, and underneath, just to give it a little bit more support, yeah, I've added some more ballast sort of support beams. Now the plan is, when it gets embedded in the mountain, I might come along with a bit of balsa and just add some more support beams to this balcony, but I'm not sure just yet. I don't have the bits in the kit to be able to convert it out of the kit, and if possible, I don't want to bring any new materials, wooden materials, into this build. So we'll see how it looks, and if I have to, we will. Now when it came to when it came to the actual tower, yeah, this bit, put that on there, yeah, this was far more challenging. Now what I had to do was, essentially, I started off and I thought I'll use gel super glue to get a bond between these pieces, because essentially this is one corner of this tower, this is another corner of this roof, with extra bits added on here and here. Okay, and so I started off with the gel super glue, and then during the live stream, yeah, that's going on right now, okay, I sort of hit upon the idea of, well, I'll tell you what, hot glue. Now obviously I'm at home and I don't have my own supplies, so I raided the wife's, or the daughter's should I say, and I used hot glue. And yes, that is glittering, because we've got gold glittery hot glue there, and pink glittery hot glue there, and gold there. So what I did was, once the tower was in place and this was all glued, I brought my pieces in and I held them in place, and very quickly with a small hot glue gun, I just put a dot of hot glue there and there, just to pin these in. Then, while supporting the roof, I picked it up, I just put another dot in there and another dot in there, and I waited for them to cool to hold it. After that, I came in and I put a strip down there, a strip down there, and as you can see, the pink there. I also run a very thin strip there and there, okay, which basically means it's solid, yeah, and it's, you know, it can take its own weight, which is one of my concerns. Was if the glue wasn't strong enough, if I put this down with models on it, will this just go flat? Okay, which is why I was looking at other braces. Instead, the hot glue has worked a treat. Yeah, I don't have that concern, which means I can just throw that straight on there and straight on there. And I could be a bit more playful with it. You know, when I say playful, I mean as in using it for gaming rather than treating it delicately. So we've secured the roof. Now I do have gaps in the roof. I'll put a little bit of masking tape underneath those, fill them with some putty, take the masking tape off, and then when we do the touch-ups and the painting, I'll just blend those in then. But essentially, our command tower is done. Can't tell you how chuffed I am with this. So guys, what I'm going to do now is I'll show you some pictures and then it's back to fine detailing, which means I'm going to be grabbing a load of little bits and adding them onto the building and doing other little bits of stuff like that. I'm a little bit lost in the filming at the minute because it's been a bit broken through today, so apologies if this isn't flowing perfectly. Yeah, neither is my brain or thinking patterns, to be perfectly honest. But command tower is done, it's ready to go in. We can start doing the mounting work around it now that we've got the structure. I just need a last few little bits to add in and we are pretty good to go. So here are some pics and I'll see you in a sec. And so we're back in the studio for this part and probably for the rest of this build. What are you doing in the studio, Bo? Thought this was a home build? Yes, it was. But I got to the stage where it was time to start trimming foam, and so what I did is I got my blade and I was just working around these edges. Yeah, just to make them all nice and smooth. And I made a hell of a mess in the house and Kez went, right, okay, that guy needs to go down to the studio. So here we are in the studio. Let me bring you up to speed with what I've been doing, guys. Okay, so majority of the work has been on the command tower, but before we look at the command tower, couple of little jobs, okay? Added the palisades on this side, okay, especially around here as well above the gates, just to keep that continuity. And if I spin it around, and just take the command tower off, it's not glued on yet. Yeah, you can see that. I've got the lean-tos that you've probably already seen. Put another lean-to there with my spare bits. Put the ladders in. We've not put the steps in yet. We've made them, but we've not put them in. This is because I need to see how the land needs to lie before I decide exactly where I put them. Yeah, it's what happens with these sort of developing projects of mine. Now, when we go to the command tower, this beauty here. Now, as you can see, I've done quite a bit on this. Obviously, we've got the roofs and everything like that done. I've done the shutters as well. And if I hold it up, you can see how I've used palisade beams. Okay, if I bring that across to that camera, you see I've used the palisade beams there as supports, which just make it look a little bit better. It's a bit difficult to see from this angle, but when you're sort of more horizontal on with it, it does work. Now, I do have some roofs and stuff left and a couple of support beams, just a couple. So I'm probably going to add those just above this door and make some sort of lean-to or something like that. I'm not sure. I want to try and use as many bits as possible, but that's enough of the converting for now, because it has been a right challenge, to be perfectly honest. Very fiddly. We're on to making more of the landscapes, which is why we're in the studio as well, okay? Because I want to make a sort of a rocky plateau landscape. And I've got all my bits, I've got everything I need to do. first job I've got to do is I've got to build up the sides that I want to fill into the mountain. Now with the actual technique of doing this sort of the layered stratified mountains, I've already done a video on this, and it will be in the Hills, Rocks and Cliffs playlist. I'll throw a link up to it. Okay, so you've got that, but I'm going to get cracked on with that now. And what I need to do is I need to build up some sides. So what I'm going to be doing is with blue foam, I'm going to basically placing it over here. Spin that round. Yeah, to build the back ends of the mountains. Now there's going to be one in this corner here, and then I'm going to do a much bigger one over here. It's going to be a fair bit of work, but it should turn out quite nice, to be perfectly honest. He says. Yeah, so my next job is to get these. I've got to glue them, pin them. I've got to cut the ones for this side, get those set in, and once they're in, we can start to actually build up our mountains. So with that, cracking on time. If there's one thing about being back in the studio, it's Mel goes into full-on beast mode. Yes, I have been a busy boy, and I'm probably just over halfway there of doing the mountains. Now obviously you can see the sides here, yeah, but you should be noticing this cheeky little thing here. Now let me see if I can get a better shot on the close cam. Right, there you go. Right, you can see the sort of stratified layers. Now, as I've said, I've done a tutorial on this. The link should already be up. If not, it'll be in the description or somewhere like that, but it'll be linked in. Yeah, but you can see the sort of stratified layer I've gone for. Still a lot to work to do on this, and this was the smaller of the two. The biggie, yeah, is... I'm going to have to switch over to the other camera now. Yeah, so spin it round. The biggie is this one. Oh, tumble down. This one. Now, if I take this tower out, yeah, you can see, well you probably can't see, but I've marked out the place where the tower goes. And I'm not gluing the tower in just yet because I want to sort of work out where I need my rocks to go. And I'm building it up in long layers using exactly the same techniques from that tutorial. So, building it in a slow, pinning it, shaving it. I've still got to sand it and all that sort of stuff, but to be truthful, I mainly want to get it built. We can do the sanding and the shaping and the filling in the next video, to be perfectly honest. I'd like just to see if I can get this rock face finish and shape so I can get an idea of what it looks like. So that's where we are right now. Yeah, cracking on time. I told you I enter beast mode when I get into the studio. Look at it, it's beautiful. Yeah, I'm struggling to fit it on the camera, to be perfectly honest, but I've built up all this side, and if we very quickly take off our roofs, yeah, and our towers, just so you can see a little bit more of it, yeah, And then obviously this has been built, this isn't glued in yet, so if I take off the roof, you can see very quickly that the actual height of the mountains, yeah, is only an inch above the actual height of the tower when it's finished. Now this is important because it's going off to foreground for them, so I want them to be able to, I don't want it to be awkward for them to store. This should go into a nice simple crate, and then all the roofs and stuff should go on the flat areas, so it'll be easier for them to store. Now I have got about an inch, so I am thinking of raising that up a couple, yeah, but I'll do that later, yeah. The main thing was to get these mountains in, and if I take that off, yeah, you can see the entirety of the work I've done on this. Okay, I think, like I say, I've gone a bit heavy with the thicker foam at the top. I should have mixed in some thinner 5mm sheets like I did further down to get a bit of variation, but I just got mad and got carried away on it as I was getting close to the end. Okay, these things happen, you know what I mean? But that being said, I'm not too worried, because where it's most pronounced is this bit here. And that bit is going to be covered in deep snow anyway, so I don't think it's going to be that much of a problem. Yeah, but mental note for Mel, just be aware and sort of mix my materials up a little bit better, so I don't get sort of on that sort of railroad train effect and just get stuck in with one technique and not vary it up. Always learning. Always learning. But overall, I'm loving it. It is quite a cramped board, but I wanted that. I wanted lots of detail in a small space, so I'm really chuffed with that. Now, next stages is obviously I've got to sand all these off a bit like we did with the stratified hill. I've got to shape the ground and then start putting in the snow, and I've got to raise up that tower. I think I've still got a little bit of converting to do as well, just on a few bits. But all that is going to wait until next episode. So guys, if you've liked it, click a like. Have you got any comments, any questions, anything like that? Any requests for this build? We're getting up to the snow stage, so if you've got any snow techniques that you'd like me to cover, get them down in the comments, guys. Yeah. And as always, guys, obviously if you like these videos, then please consider supporting them. Yeah, take a look at Patreon. It keeps the lights on, the cameras rolling, and me in this studio doing these awesome projects and sharing them the best I can with you guys. Now, just a quick note, if you do join Patreon, remember, all my videos go up to Patreon first, yeah, and there's a good chance that you will see updates on this project weeks before they actually hit the actual main channel. So if you want to keep up to speed on these sort of projects or my new tutorials coming out, yeah, and you need your fix, just simply head over to Patreon. They're there waiting for you. And of course, you know, there's discounts and stuff like that with my suppliers, you know, when I do special deals with them and all that sort of stuff. And if you're not into the Patreon, then down below you'll find the link for a one-off PayPal or my Amazon wish list where you can buy kit that I need for the studio. It all helps, guys. And in the meantime, I'm just going to say that there's linkies over there for subscribing, and there's videos up there, and I really hope you've enjoyed this so far, guys. I'll be bringing it back to shape it up and hopefully get it painted in the next video. I'll see you soon, yeah? All the best. Ta-da.